Hello, friends and neighbors on the interwebs. It's Josh coming to you with the Tarot Snapshot for Sunday, November 19th. I want to thank you for being on this journey with me and being here and walking along the weird stuff that happens to me and happens to us all. And I think as spiritual seekers, we all have questions and we all are curious. So before I get into the Tarot Snapshot, before I share with the wisdom that tarot has to offer all of us, I want to talk about something that is really important, I think, for a lot of us to remember. I like to keep everything spiritual very simple, and I use a lot of analogies and metaphors to help describe what I experience. As we're alive, we are the marriage of spirit and body. So the analogy that I always use is a horse and a rider. Your body's the horse, your soul's the rider. And when we pass away, the rider comes off. It stays going. It's the eternal part of ourselves. Where we go when we pass on is like behind a one-way mirror that we would see in a cop show. And this is an analogy that I'll always use forever because, we're on the side of the suspects, pretty oblivious to what's going on over there. They're on the side of the cops and the detectives where they can feel us, they see us, they know us, and they are our source of intuition. Let's take that analogy a step further. On the other side of that pane of glass, on the other side of that mirror, well, they watch us, they feel us. That means they are watching us as their movie. And to entertain that for a bit. If we want our spirits, our loved ones, our beloved dead, to rest in peace, we have to live in peace because they're aware of us, they're watching us suffer, and if they love us, our suffering is their suffering. But if you are their movie, if you're their TV show, if you're what they're observing, what kind of movie are you giving them? What kind of TV show are you giving them? What kind of life are you showing them? Are you showing them some sort of sad and sour melodrama, or are you showing them something that's full of joy and love, happiness? You have a lot to say for that. You have a lot to contribute to that. So I want you to think of your life as the show for your beloved dead, for your spirits, and how they're watching it one way or the other, and your joy is their joy. Your peace is their peace. The first card in the Tarot Snapshot represents who we are in this moment, and I get as much wisdom out of this as anybody else. The next card represents the situation, the stuff that vexes and perplexes. The next card represents what heals and reveals. The very first card that represents us today is this. Okay. This is the Six of Swords. And today I'm using the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot Luna Edition. And it's beautiful artwork. It's got more silver edges than the gold one that I normally use, but it's a beautiful deck. And the Six of Swords represents us paddling onto smoother waters. So in the Six of Swords, swords representing the mind, we have choppy waters here, kind of behind this person, and they're rowing towards clearer waters. And I think that's something that we all seek to do, that every single one of us has mental turmoil, anguish of some sort. We're all struggling in some way with something that challenges us mentally. Fear, worry, anxiety, all sorts of stuff. And I think that we all seek, whether through spiritual means or through conventional therapy or medications, herbal supplements, those types of things, we all seek to find calmer waters. As we do, as we find the peace, well, we give our peace to our loved ones. This is why I'm a big believer in playing whack-a-mole with everything that causes me to suffer. I am in pretty good inventory with the challenges emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually that cause me to suffer as much as I can be, as much as we can be self-aware. When I minimize those challenges, when I minimize those sufferings, I minimize my grandmothers and spirits. Everybody who I love, living and in spirit, well, they benefit from me knowing peace. If I want my husband to have peace, if I want my child or my parents to have peace, I should be working on my own. My parents' peace is mine. My husband's peace is mine. This is the gift that I give my grandmother in spirit so she can rest in peace by working on my own. The next card represents what vexes and perplexes us. Well, here we go. Fascinating. So we go right from the Six of Swords right to the Seven of Swords. So I shuffled and we have one right after the other. The Seven of Swords, a lot of people think the Seven of Swords has to do with duplicitousness or sketchy vibes or lying or thievery. I don't get that from this card. The relationship that I've developed with this card is very much about going our own way, taking what works for us and moving on, leaving behind what doesn't. I think this is challenging for us all because when we're trying to move on, like the Six of Swords, we seek other people's advice. We seek other people doing things. You know, this is like that idea of peer pressure. If we're in high school and we're watching a lot of our peers, you know, experiment with drugs and alcohol and seemingly on the surface find peace through that process, well, you know, monkey see, monkey do. The monkey see, monkey do doesn't work for us because our own spiritual paths, our own paths to mental well-being, our own paths to emotional fulfillment, they're as individual as our own personal DNA or our fingerprints. That's what this card represents, is that we have to go our own way. The struggles that we have in this world, we face them on in ways that are individual to us. What is peaceful and healing for me is not necessarily peaceful and healing for other people. We have to remember that. So finding and carving our own path, that's what this card represents. When we have to navigate mental challenges, mental illness or turmoil, we have to navigate our own path. Again, something that works for me isn't going to work for the next person. The card that heals and reveals is this one. Okay. The Nine of Wands. I like to associate a lot of tarot cards with classic rock songs, and that's what I get out of this one. This card right here is very much the card of Elton John's song, I'm Still Standing. So go ahead and tune that one up and listen to it. You're still standing. Even though you might be struggling mentally, even though you might be struggling with turmoil, emotionally, mentally, what have you, you're here to talk about it and you're still standing, which means that you have an inherent strength that you are not aware of. This is the relationship that I have with my ancestors and that I hope to pass along to everybody, that we have a connection to our ancestors, and our ancestors were strong people. Not necessarily moral or ethical, but they were strong, and that strength lives in us because we're here. We're here. So even though this person is bandaged on their head, they've made it through. They've survived. Pat yourself on the back for the survival that you have accomplished and the goals that you've reached. That doesn't mean that you don't have more to survive or more to accomplish. But again, right here, right now, you have survived all of your worst days. You have. Surely you've had help along the way, but that survival wouldn't have happened if you didn't have anything to do with it. So give yourself the credit, lean into your own inherent strength, and remember that you have the strength to survive the worst things that can come your way, because you have already. Give yourself that credit. That's the Tarot Snapshot for this week. Thank you for being here. And we're walking into the week of Thanksgiving. We're walking into the week for America of, gratitude and what have you. So as much as we should be grateful all the time, this is a week where we really focus on it. As much as we should have the Christmas spirit all the time, Christmas is a time that we focus on that. So right now, remember, you have so much to be grateful for. And if nobody's told you, I'm grateful for you. Take care of yourself. Have a happy Thanksgiving.